Something that comes up every once in a while, even in first, second, and third dates, is giving feedback and trying to understand like what's on your date's mind or similar thoughts. Giving and receiving feedback often has a bad rap because people don't necessarily know how to give it or how to receive it. Giving feedback can feel difficult because you don't necessarily want to hurt the person's feelings, or you don't want to risk feeling like you're doing that. And receiving it can also be tough because you don't want to take it personally. You want to just hear it and incorporate it into your life and your behavior so that you know how to move forward. So there's two things that are really important when it comes to giving and receiving feedback. Whether you're already dating someone or you're hoping to date someone, and you're basically just trying to level up your communication game. The first thing is to avoid a character attack. You don't want to say something like, I can't believe you would do something like that, or uh, someone like you would always do something like that, right? That associates the behavior, the thing that you're trying to get specific about, with the person's character. You want to keep a character and behavior separate, because that's what a good employer would do if there was an employee that was not performing or otherwise, doing something that was, you know, not conducive to a particular outcome, right? You would want that to be separated, the behavior separated from their character. So you want to do the same thing when you're talking about a potential relationship or a new date that you might go on, or you're trying to get to the bottom of some kind of communication problem some way or another. And the second thing is to use like I statements, similar to if you're talking about like how you feel, you would say I feel X because Y. And the other thing is to be specific. So bringing it to yourself, saying like I feel this way, or I had this thought, is already specific because you're tying it to yourself. But you want to be specific. You don't want to just say, why did you do this, or I felt frustrated when you did XYZ. You want to say, um, you want to ask your question in as specific a way as possible. So you could say something like, hey, I really enjoyed our date the other day, but I noticed towards the end you seemed distant, and I'm not sure if you were still enjoying the date. I noticed this because you were looking down a lot, or you stopped making eye contact with me. Is that the same thing that you noticed as well? That way you're specific. You're saying like, here's how I felt about this thing. And then third, you're still asking your date or your potential date or girlfriend, like, this is this is what I'm looking for your input on, and so can you please answer me in that regard? And that is how to be specific when you're giving and receiving feedback in relationships.